everybody. Welcome to Go Tarot Odyssey. I am my own cameraman, and everybody has just gone out for a moment. So I do have a quiet house. I have to make sure I have some liquid close by in case my voice goes off. Merry Christmas, you guys, and Happy New Year's. And I wanted to have a moment on camera to thank all my Patreons and you guys for your viewership. The grids of how they scope our subscribers is a little off, but mine looked like it hit 40,000 subscribers this morning, so I wanted to come on and thank you guys. And I wanted to do a special read because I was just watching a reader that I really like, and she's really plugged into what matters and what's meaningful in this world, and I really resonate with that aspect of 2020 is something that's completely unknown, and the future is quite unfathomable for most people that believe in the mystical, the magical, the esoteric, because it's so expansive. It's like quicksand. As soon as we gain ground, it's like we learn so much more, and it's like one of those things where if you're a mutable fire sign, this works for you, and I am, because I don't have fear involved in that. And in fact, most fire signs love and thrive on consistent change and evaluating new things. You know, we're in that Six of Swords moment where we're always in those boats looking for new shores and new adventures. But a lot of earth signs do not enjoy this. I know this for a fact. They don't like change. They like to know what to expect. They are planners and all of that, where a lot of fire signs, we will go through life on our coattails, enjoying it, the adventure, all of that. And the same old wears very thin with us. So I want all of you guys to know, with 2020, all these blessings coming in, it's like, don't be fearful of this immense change. It's such a time of expansion, but it's also a beautiful time of simplicity, where we're coming back into what really matters, connection with self and people and how we feel, and not letting ourselves starve for affection or information or connectivity, because we'll go out and we'll seek these relationships. What we are seeking is also seeking us. So whatever we want to make us feel fulfilling and fulfilled, and our life feel rich and robust, those things will arrive, because we'll be concentrating on them as opposed to the lack of them, or where is this love, where is this, because 2020 is just totally awash with soulmate love, with understanding, with richness, with effervescent vitality, to really just want to experience the richness and the flavors of life, and not to be afraid and not care what other people think. My biggest breakthrough moment in life, and where my biggest successes came, I never really relied on the opinions of others in my life. I don't know why. I just wasn't made of that stuff. So I was able to forego a lot of that intimidation or whatever that other people fear by people being ultimately successful, beautiful, or whatever. I never used that as a measuring stick. It was always, what can I do today, to make somebody feel better and learn new things and stuff. And when I stick to that element, I always feel rich, abundant, and I have a lot of gratitude, right? I'm never going to be looking over the fence for all this greener grass. Why do I want greener grass when mine is emerald green? And if we're always digging up those seeds we plant, how well do you think those ideas are going to grow? If we planted a new oak tree and we dug up those seeds every day to see the progress, we're going to ambush it, right? So we're not racing to that finish line. We're taking it slow. So I wanted to work, I'm going to let you choose from these 3 topics. And if you want to listen to all of them, I feel like they're all going to be like a refreshing course in what's going on, because this is what I see kind of coming for people. And it does things work in Phoenix energy and cycles and all of these things, and help consistently from above. When we believe in that angelic help and guidance, it's always there for us. So number 1 is going to be cycles. Number 2 is going to be help from above. And number 3 is going to be Phoenix rising. And you can just look at all of them, feel free. They're just going to be quick little advisories to let us know that even though things are always shifting and changing, we don't need to look forward with a fearful eye, with a that anticipation of something is scary because it's new, when it's usually the opposite. It's the unknown that refreshes us and rejuvenates us. That's why as a jeweler, I sometimes get disappointed after I have hundreds of beads laid for me. If I use them all up and make all the jewelry, then I'm like, I don't have any beads left to make more stuff. And then I look and I'll look at that and I'm like, could I have made that bigger or different? And what I'll do is I'll immediately put it away, and then I'll pull it out, and I'm like, I would get that for myself, because that is really well structured. It's colorful. It's beautiful. But sometimes if you just, you take up all your resources and you create or spend, then you start second guessing yourself. With this time, it's just like, what am I going to make next type of attitude? Not, oh, that could have been better, because each day is a choice to make a better choice. So let's begin with the cycles. And I always feel that life does come in cycles, right? Sometimes we feel so abundant and so rich and so wealthy. And that's why I wanted to put out the reading I did this morning, because a lot of people then have that valley mentality after the peak of Christmas. Like, oh, I shouldn't have spent so much, or I shouldn't have done this and that. Just embrace all the good, beautiful moments that occurred. It's nothing about things or what we can acquire. Things really do turn to dust and ash, don't they? So who cares about that? It's our memories. It's our beautiful vision of what's to come and what we can create and how we can instill and infuse these moments. Like, one of my best moments of this was an epic fail where Ian and Hagen spent hours putting together a Fallout board game that was so complex that in the end we couldn't play it because we were all, even Indy and I were both looking at each other. She's like, I'm losing motivation. I'm like, I'm losing my life. Like, I'm losing my sanity. I'm losing my life. And it was so funny because neither of them, with their very logistical planning, they saw it as a learning tool, and that later down the road they'll then have that knowledge to implement when they want to play the game. Where for someone like me, I'm like, I felt like I got to make jewelry while they were doing it, but I was like, I can't even do this. So I love this. You have, oh, the dragon's pet right now. Communication between, oh, beautiful. Oh, through animals and pets. So you're basically going to go in, with this new knowledge that we can communicate on any level with anything. I'm really good at communicating with spirit when I'm in nature, with nature. I hear the whispers in the trees and the crows and the birds and the crickets and all the animals, and it grounds me and it makes me feel calm. And you're going to have this sort of arrive at your doorstep where animals and nature are going to be reassuring and balancing to you. And you're going to be really plugged into those cycles of change, fallow and feast and harvest, all of that. Like, each season has its own unique beauty. I love winter for the fact that I can relax, tuck in, and kind of go in my cave and have quietude and the beauty and the majesty of snow and everything being blanketed in snow. I love it just as much as I love fall, because fall is an amazing time of year where it's completely magic. So we also have we have to be careful of this and let go of victim consciousness. This can happen. This hasn't arrived yet. I can't have this. I don't have that. I'm not allowed to do this. I don't have the money for that. When we have that, we put other people in our blamescape, right? Well, if my father didn't do this, then I would have this. If my so-and-so gave me a car, or if so-and-so gave me a lift, or if this and that. And then we can all of a sudden start to see things as failures. Oftentimes people do this when they go for job interviews and they don't get it. It's like, oh, they're A, B, and C because they didn't allow me to have this job. That victim mentality where it's like, listen, divine timing is very, very unique in that the universe waits for optimal things to come to us because it doesn't want us to have mediocre. It doesn't want us to have something where we're just spinning our wheels and not growing and thriving at all. It really wants us to appreciate the beauty and the value in ourselves and to not settle for less as well. So be careful of victim consciousness. I'll sometimes do that if I'll have a busy work schedule and different people will be pulling my attention in different areas. I get a little, then I have those Queen of Swords moments where I have to be very discerning who deserves my attention at that, because sometimes it's a squeaky wheel. It used to be that, but now I'm like, no, what have I planned out for the day? This is my agenda. This is my work agenda, family agenda, whatever. This gets my time right now. And I don't mess around with that and I don't deviate from that. And I have, Queen of Swords is one of those person where they honor their time. They don't mince words. They let people know, listen, there's only so many hours in the day. There's so much dollars in the bank account. There's so much whatever there is. And I'm not going to deplete my resources to just constantly keep giving to you. A lot of people have this with clients. If they're personal trainers, stuff like that, people are like, me, I need, and people always want to feel like they're at the head of the line, but you get to have your Queen of Swords moment where you say, no, because this is my time that I'm allotting for you, and this is how it's going to be, and it's really going to save you from that victim consciousness of everybody's yelping at me and not giving in and caving into other people's squelches, right? So beautiful energy, group one. I love that for you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. Always honor your time and yourself. And all my links are down below if you need a private read or you want to come visit on Patreon or any of those. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So now we're on to number 2, which I believe was Help from Above. Yeah, I love this card so much. Right away after this came up, I got Beauty. So I feel right now that you're going to be able to tap into really allowing yourself to recognize all the innate beauty within you. And that's graciousness, that's kindness, that's loving, that's caring. You can look like $1,000,000 and be such a soulless creature. I had such strange events throughout my high school years where I had people, when I moved to a new school, and three of the most attractive people in the school came into my place of work. I worked at a pharmacy, and they were extremely rude, and they were buying like cans of dog food, and they left it all on the counter doing this stuff and going, "Oh, that's for you, by the way." Never said a word to them. And so what I did was I let them pay for it because they paid for it. And then I said, "Thank you. You see this receipt of $16? While you thought you were insulting me, you're actually buying me dinner. So thank you very much." And then later, I had been at the school for a couple weeks, and they came up to me at a party and they said, "We're really embarrassed we behaved that way, but we thought that because you looked a certain way, you would think you were all that or whatever." That's why we always have to give somebody a chance. Oftentimes we jump to conclusions, different variations of beauty out there. Mine is a smile. If somebody smiles warm at me, you have a friend for life, because so many people don't even take the time to do that anymore. When you're new at work and you come in and you have people that smile at you, that is an indication that it's a welcoming, right? So remember, to smile. And oftentimes when we are at our most, physically beautiful and we're all dressed up, like say for a Met Gala type of thing or something like that, people are very uncomfortable. They feel stiff. They're wearing layers, so they don't feel natural as you would like at a football game. That energy is much different. But you're going to tap into what is beautiful to you and kind of notice that about you, whether it's your smile, that twinkle in your eyes, whatever, your warmness, your beautiful hair, things about your shoulders, your posture. I always love a good posture. When people's shoulders are back and they look you square in the eye, I find that so beautiful too. And I feel like you're really going to tap into that. Oh yeah, you got it down. In sexual arts, I feel like this is going to be the year where you're introduced to really beautiful, sensuous life. And sometimes it's just preparing a beautiful romantic meal with all the right accoutrements. And I love pomegranates. I feel like they're so romantic. Those open. Beautiful wine, coffee, whatever all those scents are. And for a lot of you guys, I feel like you're very big on your olfactory sense. So it has to do with, like coconut. And I feel like a lot of you guys like the smell of suntan oils and things like that, and fruit and that kind of richness. It's all the sensuality you're really going to tap into. And I feel like people are going to be very attracted to you. You're going to be highly magnetic. So use that wisely too, because oftentimes it's just a movement, a walk, your hands. It can be anything that's very subtle, and people get very attracted to that. So I feel like that's a year that this year you're going to explore and have a lot of fun with that too. Oh, I love that. Also, your inner child. I love this. I have to do this every day because sometimes I'm solving some big, some fairly large problems for people, both, financially, mentally, whatever. A lot of people feel like they're in an insecure world, and I have to let them know how to look for things that make them feel secure. So every once in a while I have to turn all that off. That's why I think I'm so much into coloring and painting and all of that. Tap into that inner child. Run out in the snow. Do snow angels. Do fun things. I feel like it's going to lift your spirit and make you feel really good. And it's important to do that. And I feel like as we go into 2020, if we give ourselves little things that bring us joy to look forward to, right? Oh, well, on Tuesdays I'm going to have the best cappuccino at this place, or I'm going to go window shop at this place, or go to a museum and give your things things to look forward to that get you excited, like that childhood glee, right? Like in the Jeannie and I are going to go to New York in a day or two, and I'm so excited about that because I love New York. I feel like it's so vibrant, it's so rich, it's pulsating, it's amazing, the museums, everything, things like that. Do that for yourself, and you'll really be like, it's gonna feel magic. It's gonna feel good, and you're gonna feel again that you're divinely guided to all these little beautiful outings in your life. So that's you, group 2. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and all my links are down below. If you need a private read, my Patreon channel, my Etsy store, I just made a whole slew of stuff with some of my Christmas beads, so go check some of that out. There's some really great stuff coming up. Okay, so now we're going to go on to group 3. So right away, I feel like her special place is saying, find your special place. I do that. Mine, it can be in any different room that I feel the strongest. Sometimes it's my backyard, it's a garden, whatever, where you can feel the magic, the light, the love, and you can participate in life at the pace that you choose for yourself. It's special because the energy is rich, and it's helpful for you to be creative and feel grounded. I love this too, snail's pace. I'm doing this right now. Slow right down. Tap into what gives you a grounded, even energy, so you feel like you're not racing. Again, I feel like this new age of Aquarius is about that. It's about simplifying. It's about planting seeds, planting a garden, and having, time with your pets and animals and nature and all the simplification of life. What really matters, letting go of the materialistic and things like that. Slow it all down, because the ego is what speeds us up. It's saying you have to do more, see more, be more, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff that is simply not true. And I definitely feel like you have some majestic stuff coming in right now. Glimpse too, so indigo, rainbow, and crystal children. I feel like, you're going to be meeting your fellow tribesmen that are these people. They are esoterics. They are people that are into the spiritual, and you're going to gravitate more towards that energy, and it's going to be fulfilling, and you're going to have great conversations and richness and things that matter to you. Meaningful interactions, as opposed to, oh my God, blah, 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 just blah, 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 just static. These are meaningful things, and you're going to be drawing things in that are so rich and deep and meaningful that they're going to change the course of your life in the best possible way, because you're no longer hanging on to things that don't matter, that are heavy, or make you doubt yourself, or implicate fear and indecision and all those things that just are opposed to our natural soul that says we're divinely protected and guided, and things are great, and I feel safe, and I feel good, and I want to look at the world with this like childlike awe, like how we sometimes when we see a full moon, right, or we see a magnificent sunset, that it's like there is so much beauty and magic on such an epic scale, and when we slow down and tap into that, we feel it everywhere, and you're definitely going to be part of that. What's this all about too? Let me see. I feel too, let me get one of these. I feel one of these is important. Oh, I like this too. Okay. How teachable are you? I have to ask myself this every day, because I'm constantly bringing in new information and reading hundreds of articles, watching all these videos. I'm trying to get the best information from the best people with the best perspective, outcomes, understanding, biggest demographics, and all of that. That sometimes I'll hear something and I'll go, I know that, I know that, I know that. And then I'll go, wait. Just stop. Act like you don't think you know that, and re-listen to this, and I will always glean something new, right? It's like someone who has taken, let's say, a sculpting class 10 times, and they go in and there's some beginners and they're rehashing something, and you're like, I already know that. I've already heard that. But oftentimes we give something not our full attention. So there is something that we might have missed. And I'll do this with people that I feel like that I've worked with, that all of a sudden I'm like, there's some hard edge or something that's weird or something that's off. And then all of a sudden, boom, it'll click, because I've stopped and I've really listened to their cadence of speech. I've watched their demeanor, and then I realize, okay, this is what's going on. And that's what's going to happen with you. You're going to slow down and go, oh my God, it's almost like you just learned a new language, like a higher emotional, intelligent gauge went off in your head. So now you're going to be able to receive all this information that you haven't seen before. Oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. So we need to slow down and plug into that, because that's where the magic happens. That's where the true understanding thing, that childlike perspective, I do not know everything and I'm willing to learn. And that's where really good information is going to come in for you. So you guys just remember in this new year that, everything is possible for us. All these opportunities are out there for us. We can slow down, really be selective and discerning, no longer give away power or energy where it's not deserving. Say thank you, have gratitude on such an epic scale for the universe providing all of these miracles daily for us, each other. I find you guys a miracle, and I have so much gratitude for you. I would have never thought just over a year ago starting this, that it would have multiplied into such a great spectrum of communication between us all, and like some of the feedback I get, it just blows my mind, and I cry all because it's so incredible that they've entered a brave new world, and they know that, these weird subconscious patterns of telling them they couldn't do something, they just broke right through those. And I'm like, I can do anything. Thank you. And you're like, I, Captain, off they go to write their books, to leave broken marriages that are abusive, to say no to things that don't serve them, to say yes to all the opportunities, possibilities, artistic and creative endeavors waiting for you guys, and such rich possibilities. And you're now, you have your little Easter basket and you're filling it with your eggs. So Happy New Year, guys. Love and light. And again, I'm my own camera lady, so I got to shut this on and off because I'm a cameraman.